Hey everybody, Pinstripe here, and welcome to the new and improved Ridgeback. That's right, it is once again time to give one of the original maps a bit of a facelift, just as we did previously with the likes of Pigs in Space, and in the same way that we did that map, this one actually houses the assets that we need in order to make those changes, and as you can see, we have plenty more buildings to play with. If height difference was anything to go by on the new Pigs in Space, then Ridgeback will follow suit, and I have tried to do that as much as possible with these buildings. This was actually something that I utilized on the Bomb Town map that has recently come out in that multiplayer update a few days ago, and yeah, it's the same kind of thing of creating those buildings with the building pieces. This map has, I think, three or four different types of walls, stairs, and a roof. And in using that, I have tried to take the center portion of the map and have the biggest building so that you can go up several floors, several staircases, and increase your height, which of course, in doing so, gives you a better vantage point, but at the same time, it is a little bit more dangerous up there because you are more likely to be, if you are hit, then you are more likely to fall down into the minefield, take full damage on the way, and slip in the water as well. One of the issues I've always found as a player, and I don't know if it's the same for everybody, but for me personally, I've never felt like there has been a spot on Ridgeback that has been safe to stand, unless it's like a back corner somewhere. But everywhere else on the map, because of the quantity of minefields, which we have reduced in previous updates, but it still has left that kind of feeling of like, okay, if I'm standing here, then I might perish in my next turn because someone can easily TNT me into the water or into a minefield. But now there are areas where you can stand and get a little bit of safety from incoming shelling, from knockback, and just provide you with a little bit of an outlet. The main aim with these buildings is not to completely remove that idea of knockback or the environmental hazards that you face on Ridgeback. It's just to reduce that feeling, like I said, of constant doom of your pigs. I will say that for one of the newer buildings on the low ground, the minefield there has been reduced ever so slightly in size just to allow you as the player to walk around that building, to walk up the stairs as well without, the fear of treading on a mine, but the mines are still there, so watch your footing when you're walking around that area. As with the progress of any map, it must evolve as it moves forward, and the crates that we find on Ridgeback are no different. Previously, there has been a significant amount of shrapnel grenades and mines. The mines, of course, are still going to be there, but the shrapnel crates have been changed to low to mid-level weapons, be that of mortars, rifle bursts, and roller grenades, among other things as well. The rockets, of course, are still in the center, so there is plenty to collect, and it's just a little bit more diverse in the things that you can find. I know for some that might be unfortunate because Ridgeback is kind of famous in a way for its shrapnel crates. They're always there to collect, they're always available, but I think because of the balancing needed for competitive play primarily, that's why the crates have changed. In fact, that's why a lot of the crates in the recent patch notes across the original maps that we have altered over time have had some weapon crate changes. Shrapnel grenades at this point are, to me, almost on par with the likes of cluster bombs when it comes to strength. The skill level of pro-level players has gotten to the point where they can utilize that weapon to its maximum extent, where we're talking, pushing minimum 70 HP's worth of damage, which is, in a way, almost on par with the guided missile, which is another weapon that is kind of in the upper echelons of, weapon grade tiering, shall we say. But it's in the higher category. I describe the weapon crates as low to mid, the ones that I have put into Ridgeback. Those are ones that aren't game-changing, that offer you, between 30 to 50 HP's worth of damage, but they don't go any higher than that. They don't do anything more crazy. Above that is then the likes of like the airburst and high explosive grenade, then guided missiles, then the cluster bomb. But even things like the flamethrower as well, that can push out huge amounts of damage when water is available, and that's the same here on Ridgeback. It's also the prominence of the sapper within a class selection for competitive when we look at Ridgeback specifically that is the other reason for the reduction in shrapnel grenades. You already have ×3 when you're bringing one sapper, but if you're bringing both, which is quite common, ×6 shrapnels is plenty to go on. But if you're picking up additional crates that give you ×2, then the sapper or additional classes just have a lifetime supply of shrapnel grenades, which is not fun when you're facing somebody who is quite astute with using that weapon to its fullest. The key thing a lot of players have to keep in mind with these changes, and indeed just competitive play as a whole, is that it evolves over time. We go from season to season with balance changes, with keeping this game as fresh as possible. We don't want one season to be exactly the same as the other when it comes to the content, the weapons, the maps, everything and anything. Everything is constantly changing, and it kind of requires you as a player to adapt to those changes as we move forward. Now, that isn't to say that absolutely everything changes from season to season. I'm talking about very small, minute changes within certain maps, because if we look at, say, Canyon, this map hasn't changed in about a season and a half because it's found its footing, and it's the same for quite a few maps that we have now across the league. The maps, once they find their right balance of weapons, of spawn points, of everything, they can really work. But even things like Hillock, that is still receiving changes. It's still receiving small balance changes. Like I adjusted a few spawn points to reduce the ability to get an insta-kill or massive amounts of damage within a first turn, and the jetpack rate was reduced from ×3 to ×2. Look, very, very small, minute changes can make a big difference. Anyway, if you want to check out the entirety of the patch notes, then head on over to the Hogs of War website at hogsofwar.org, where you can read about the entire update, all the things that have gone into it, all the little details, and of course download links are available there as well. If you're looking to get involved with the Hogs of War League this season, there is still plenty of time for both Grunt and Middle League. We are still taking on new players, so feel free to jump into the Hogs of War community Discord, the links of which are in the description, and get in contact with our mod team. As for Ridgeback, I hope you guys enjoy this new updated version. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comments below, and I will catch you guys later for the next one.
Right, you putrid porker. You should be proud of your hogs. I've given you, 5 additional promotion points to decorate them with. Are you listening to a word I say? Repeat after me. Minefields are very bad things to wander into. Now, press your button and we will be the richest nation in the world. Just imagine, limitless swill supplies until the end of all time. Oh, God, don't mess it up.